Hello, I am Sharon Haver from FocusOnStyle, and I am snuggling up to
Brad Boles from the Real Housewives of New York City and the roving editor, no, the editor at large of FocusOnStyle.com.
and if you've listened to us or watched us a few times, you know that we have a little light, shape, and size issues. So what happens is if I go into my spot, Brad goes all the way back. We do this all the time.
And I look thinner and younger.
And I look hard and fat.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to do this one, and we're going to snuggle up to Brad. And the reason we're snuggling up to Brad...
No, my head looks too big, though.
Right? It's not because we love him. It's because then he can't come into my space.
Oh. All right. Today we're going to address one of the biggest issues that most of you ladies out there have. Most of my girlfriends have about 5 minutes in the morning to get dressed. And so today we're going to address office chic and how to pull it off in 5 minutes in the dark.
That
getting
light
dressed.
is really bad.
And, well, anyway, getting dressed in the dark and making sure that you have on the same color
Should go back to my
socks
spot.
and that you actually look attractive in the morning.
Same color socks?
And
Same color, you mean we're both wearing the same pair of black pumps?
well, I know, but a lot of our readers, one of their biggest issues is
getting out of the house.
Getting out of the house. How can I get dressed in the morning? I've got my kids to manage, and so we have some great tips for you today on looking great in the morning, how to pull it off with style, and still end up transitioning into the early evening or having a cocktail with a girlfriend after.
So what I think that everyone needs to do, and I know I do it, is you need to have a basic set of core go-to pieces in your wardrobe.
Yes.
I prefer dark colors. Obviously, black is... Well, you know, I've got color under
course
here
you
today,
do.
but it makes it easier.
Of
You
course
know,
it
it's
does.
just different ways of wearing the same thing, different ways. And one of the things I think everyone should have is a really great pair of pants, either a straight leg pant, either a slightly cropped one that you can wear with a heel,
Right.
or a refined kind of pointy flat if you have long legs, or a full-legged pant. And I think you should have one great skirt that's around knee length, and then everything else you put on top of it kind of all works together. If it's a more traditional type office, you'd want to have a blazer. If it's a little more creative, you can have a blazer like what I'm wearing now, which is a
that's
sleeveless one.
interesting actually that you're saying that, because a lot of our readers actually write in and ask us about that, because we are really challenged in this day and age. Offices tend to be a lot more creative than the way that we grew up, and I
I'm
think
not 112.
well, I mean, no, we grew up when you would end
When I
up in
grew
the
up,
office.
we were even allowed to wear pants.
No, they were blazers and skirts for women, and they were suits and ties for men. And we live in a more relaxed atmosphere, but it's still sophisticated, and it has to still be a business atmosphere. One of the things that I recommend, and this is, I love women that change their bags, because I think it looks so great the next day. They've got and they're bagaholics. You tend to you can't be bothered a lot of times. What I recommend, one of the biggest tricks that you can do is if you're a bag changer and you like to switch out your bags.
Bag changer.
Switch out your bags the night before you go to bed.
Yeah, I just don't leave it for the morning, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to forget your keys, and
you're going to lose your concealer.
Yeah, like me, I have two concealers.
I can tell you.
Can you tell that I have misplaced two concealers?
And the thing is, so that's a great trick. Switch out your bag the night before. One of the great fall looks that I love, and I think is very chic, and it kind of transitions into the late afternoon, early evening cocktail hours. I love the idea of tying an Hermes scarf around the handle of a bag. I think it looks great.
But what does that have to do with an office? You don't walk around carrying your purse.
No, but you got to get to the office, and you have to look chic walking in.
Which is what I always say, that when you're getting to the office, that one of the best buys you should have for every season is a great coat, a great winter coat, a great trench coat,
Yes.
because most of the time, people that you run into really quickly see you on the street, and they don't really see anything other than your coat and your bag. And, that's when you have the good bag, the good coat. And for the office, if you're really investing in having bottoms that fit you,
Right.
you can repeat the same skirt pretty much as... What are you laughing at?
Vinny would get a kick out of that one.
I'm taking it.
There's no pun intended.
This is a bad...
Bottoms that fit.
I know there's a gay reference in there, which we will not.
One of the things that I do.
Are you a bottom or a top?
One of the things that
I
I
would
do.
say you're probably a bottom, but anyway.
One of the biggest things that I
Anyway.
also recommend.
Or do you like switch bottom top?
Yeah, right, exactly. Make sure that that your office wardrobe is in a separate section of your closet. Don't be fumbling from your weekend clothes to your evening party clothes.
Well, I say you keep your core wardrobe kind of centrally located. You know, in my case, it's hanging off the steamer rack. But I think you keep it really centrally located so that when you're in a hurry, you can say, okay, I have my black pants, and today I'm going to do it with a crisp white shirt.
I mean, in a perfect world, I mean, most people should lay their outfit out the night before.
My mother made me do that every night.
But I don't think we live in a world anymore that people. I mean, usually you end up being time challenged by the time
you fall asleep smashed.
Yeah, I mean, forget it. The morning, who's got time?
He woke up with fell asleep with his clothes on.
So I recommend that if you're going to put together a cohesive look, another idea, and this is one that I've suggested to a lot of my clients, is that on a Sunday evening, lay out your wardrobe for the week.
I used to do this all the time. What I used to do is try. It was of course before I was married and had a family and responsibilities. But when I had time,
now you just live in sweats.
No, I don't even own sweats. I don't even wear sweats to the gym. When I have time, what I always do recommend is, and I did this for a long time, is to take like a rainy Sunday afternoon and play dress up and go through your closet and figure out how to kind of re-merchandise what you already own.
Well, and it also really helps too, especially if you're somebody that lives in an urban environment where you don't have a tremendous amount of light stream. You don't have a lot of light streaming through your windows, or if you're someone that gets up before.
Like our set, because we're not where it's nice and bright.
Or when you wake up and it's before the sun comes up. So the thing is, that's where you're color challenged, and it's always better to lay out your.
So many challenges.
Well, color challenge,
time
challenge, color.
But
actually that is.
Bottom
but that is true. Don't you agree? When it comes to getting dressed for the office,
which
you
is
are time
why,
challenge, bottom challenge,
which is
bottom
why.
challenge, color challenged. I mean, to get out the door. How many times once you step out the elevator and you're outside, A, you forgot your umbrella and it's raining. B, you pass a window and get a glimpse of yourself and said, "Oh my God, what was I thinking?"
I don't have to do that because it's that big mirror downstairs.
And then, or you step outside and all of a sudden you realize that you forgot to take the Velcro shoulder pads out of your Noma Kamali, and it really does look like 1988. Has that ever happened?
No.
No?
No.
You don't remember the phone call I got a week ago that you thought you looked like a diesel dyke that worked at Home Depot?
No, that was a diesel terrorist.
A diesel terrorist.
That was because, and you know what that was about? That was a really simple story of what not to wear, what not to do. The housekeeper was bumping around, and I had been wearing camouflage pants that day and a top, which looked absolutely fine for what I was doing. Green is in.
Right,
and
it is in. Camouflage is in.
And I had to go out, and it got chilly, and I went to go get my closet, but she had all these buckets of nonsense, and I couldn't get to my closet. And I couldn't grab anything. And had I had 5 minutes, I would have probably gotten, like a brown leather jacket, or I would have gotten a big scarf, and it would have been fine. But instead, the only thing I was able to grab was a green camouflage jacket, coat, and the pants. And then I walked out and I said, I look like an insane terrorist.
But what I want to know is,
don't try to get dressed when the cleaning lady has taken over your whole.
No, if you tend to be weight challenged and a little bit one of the bigger girls out there, what I want to know is, does that camouflage expand in size?
Or do you like big girls? What do you mean it's expand in size?
Well, does the camouflage get bigger?
It wasn't. It was khaki green. It wasn't
Was
like
it stretch?
print. When you take everything, you put it in the pockets, you can really get it stretched out.
So
there was the kind of camouflage. I did have high, my big wedge snakeskin shoes.
Oh, and by the way,
I did have good shoes.
I have very good news for you, and I don't know if you're following the trends this week because you've been so busy with knee deep in rebuilding the new fabulous FocusOnStyle website, which is going to be fabulous.
We're going to be polite. We're going to, what we're going to say about the way it's going.
Actually, it's going fabulous. It's just a little bit, crazy. But so I don't know if you've noticed by going out to the stores lately, Kitten Heels are back in, and they're in a huge way. La Boutin has done a kitten heel. Jimmy Choo has resurfaced with a kitten heel. Or
otherwise known as low heels, which we have tons of on FocusOnStyle.com. Go look for low heels. We have tons to shop.
And it's great. And there was a whole story about this last week here in New York because. They're tired of the 5-inch heel. They're complaining from back pains. People are showing up at more chiropractors these days.
Well, it's our pet peeve of the girls in those 18-inch gladiators.
Oh, and this ties into my whole thing about being office chic and office ready, not being time challenged. A 2-inch heel works, ladies. You can put that on in the morning, and don't tell me you need the tennis shoe. Now, you know how I feel about tennis shoes and going to work. I hate it.
Do you know what I saw the other day? I was appalled. I saw a woman who looked perfectly normal wearing a business suit, and you know what she was wearing with it?
What?
Crocs, beige Crocs, and tube socks. And I'm like, my God, that makes tennis shoes and
It sounds awful.
It was the most hideous thing. I felt like going up to her and saying, surely you can figure out something.
Yeah.
But getting back to kitten heels, they are not something that is for everyone. For one reason is one thing kitten heels look horrible with is if you have big calves. If you have extremely muscular calves
Right.
or you have heavy legs, there is nothing that makes you look more bulbous than a pair of kitten heels.
Absolutely.
So then, because when you're balancing your heel height, you need to balance it with the shape of your leg.
If you've got
So
a fat calf, you can't even do a ballet slipper.
No,
you
it
need to
makes
lift. You need to lift.
lift it up a little bit
Yeah.
and balance the proportion by a low-heeled shoe that is a little bit more of a stacked heel and a little bit thicker and not a kitten heel, and your leg will look
Absolutely.
that much slimmer.
So getting back to being time challenged and dressing appropriately in the morning.
Time challenged.
My recommendation
I
is,
think that's a
ladies,
subtle hint.
if you have it in life, if you have the time in life, set your wardrobe up on a Sunday night to get you through the whole week for your office. Look fabulous. And
Or keep those things in the front of your closet with
Yeah.
lots of accessories to throw on at the last
and don't
minute
attempt
to
a
change it out.
don't attempt a 2-minute blowout in the morning. It never ever works.
I do a 2-minute blowout every day.
Okay, why don't you send us all your opinions here about the 2-minute blowout? The 2-minute
I
blowout.
don't do a 5, I do a 2.
You do a 2-minute blowout. Okay, so you're an example of it. Ladies, this is a 2-minute blowout.
Or you shouldn't bother.
All right, anyway, it was great to see you. Check in with us later. And this is FocusOnStyle.com. Check out my column, which is amazing. Sharon has decided to give up writing a column at this point in her life. She is threatening to shut down everything unless a miracle happens soon. So,
You know
viewers...
what the miracle is? Certain people getting their job done so I can get mine. You know who you are listening.
Bye!
Thank you, Tech World. Bye.